Hi there, KW family. So excited to join with you today. My name is Clark Kendall. I serve as your regional technology trainer at the Greater Heartland region. And
Hey, I'm Jody Cantrell. I am the MCTT out of Joplin, Missouri.
yes, you are, Jody. So excited to do another amazing training. I always get to learn from you so much and all the things tech that we get to do. Yet today we have a fun little focus together. One that we do get a lot of questions as tech trainers, and that's about contact sync, specifically a partnership that we have with Keller Williams of API Nation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know you've got a lot of questions as a lot of our agents are looking for leverage to give themselves time back. And that's our job to help understand how they can do that. So we've titled today's session to go from manual to automatic. And so maybe sticking with a car theme here, I don't know. But the idea here is that we have a lot of data in our databases, right? Or depending on what our database looks like, it might simply just be our phone initially if we're getting in the business, or we've always wanted to have a CRM. And so what this ability is go from manual entry, really doubling manual entry, right? Because most of the people that will get the help in this thing of amazing opportunity, a career of real estate, that data lives somewhere else. So why not easily bring it into command, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Most of it, like you said, most of it in their phones. And, it gets kind of monotonous if you're trying to add contacts one at a time in command, or if you're trying to put it on a spreadsheet from whatever program that you're using. So this will be really nice for them.
Yeah. So entering this relationship we had with API Nation, and so you might be asking yourself, okay, how could I use that? And that's a great question to begin with, or how does this benefit me? We'll walk through some potential scenarios today. And if anything kind of triggers an idea or a thought, or you're still unsure, please reach out to your amazing Market Center tech trainer, as they'll be able to diagnose exactly what you're looking to do and give you a prescription there. So we'll walk through a lot of scenarios, but one to consider just right on the front end is with cell phones. Right. I know as a lot of realtors, we run around a lot, or we meet people at the grocery store line, or at a party, or at a networking event, whatever it is, and we add a contact to our phone. Right. And most of us have smartphones now that store contact data, not only on our phone, but in this magical world that we call the cloud. Right. So more than likely, those contacts are maybe synced with Google Contacts or iCloud. So the cool thing that we'll have the opportunity to walk through today is, if they're on my phone, how do I have them automatically show up in command? That if I am in the grocery store line, somebody shares their contact card with me, I save it to my phone, boom, bingo, it automatically shows up in command, right? Or on the flip side there, if I'm getting for example, getting Facebook leads in command, and they're automatically coming in. If I have this API Nation sync, this thing that we're going to put in place or walk you through today, then they can automatically show up on my phone. So if they call back, it all automatically shows up in the caller ID because I had that contact in command. It automatically came to my phone, and I have a lot more sense of clarity of what's going on there. So, Jody, anything else to add there?
Nope, I think you covered it.
All right, we're ready. We're going to rock and roll here. So there's a couple of setup pieces here. And the reason why we want to provide this training is there's a certain path you want to go down. And so as we're going through there, if you have questions about anything in particular that we've touched on, or you want further clarification, here's a couple options. One, put a question in the comments box. We will answer after the training. Also, answers.kb.com and your Market Center tech trainers are your go-tos, right? But our first setup piece here that we really need to walk through is to make sure that we have a payment method in the KB Marketplace, right? So you might not even be aware what the KB Marketplace is, and we'll go through that. But what we're not going to accomplish today is actually setting up that payment method, because we do want to narrowly focus in on this API Nation. However, I will share my screen here, because in this amazing place of answers.kb.com, which is the screen that you're seeing here now, you can search add payment, and the top article selection here, add payment method to KB Marketplace. It will take you step by step, click by click, in order to set up your credit card. All right. So this is used not only for API Nation. Goodness, what else, Jody? We've got
Go in there. I'm not even sure what other apps are available. There's many.
Yeah, there's so many other options. Yeah, so I mean, even if you're doing training, you can actually purchase trainings on KW Marketplace. So
Right.
there's a lot here. So you only have to put your payment method in once for all things KW Marketplace. But this article here will walk you through it. So
Yep.
again, answers.kw.com. Search add payment if you're not familiar or you don't have that payment set up just yet. Right. Once you do it once in the marketplace, then you can easily access your account for Twilio and API Nation, all that. All right. So what we're going to actually focus on next, and I'm going to allow Jody to take the steering wheel here, is actually purchasing your Sync subscription. So once we have our payment method in place, right, we got our credit card and it's all good to go there, then what do I need to do next in order to connect API Nation to be able to pay for this subscription? All right, because one, this is a subscription piece. Probably should start with that. This leverage, you do get a month free, your first month free, and then it's $10 a month after that. All right. So depending on how many lead generation that you're doing and how many contacts you have in there, depending on your situation, right, you could maybe set up this sync initially, just get all those phone contacts in the command in one fell swoop, and it's maybe worth $10. Possibly.
Absolutely. I think it's worth $10.
Right. And then you can cancel the subscription, right? It's done its job and you have to have an ongoing subscription. Or maybe you just get your first month free, right? That you could do that for free as I'm talking this out here. But if it's something that you want to continue to set up, if you're getting a lot of Facebook leads or you're getting a lot of Realtor.com leads or leads from, say, your Real Geek site, there's a lot of integrations that Jody's going to show you here. Just be aware it's $10 a month. First month's free, initial start, and then 2 months after that.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's find it.
Okay.
Marketplace.
All right. So once you're in your command account, your dashboard, if you notice this little icon up here, it looks like a little shop. If you hover over it, it says Marketplace. If you click on that, it actually takes you to this page here. So it opens up a brand new tab for you. And this is your KW Marketplace where you have access to all of these things, but we're looking for API Nation, right? So I can actually type in API Nation, hit search. And now it's going to take me to all of these integrations. So we have Dotloop to Google Drive, DocuSign to Google Drive, things like that. But we are looking for Google Contacts. So hopefully it's on one of these first 2 pages.
I always love scanning through here, and I actually do this periodically, and we do get updates. And when
because I'm sure they add new things all the time, right?
Yeah.
So like we see here, we have Real Geeks if you use that, Realtor.com if you want to sync your leads from there, Zillow leads, things like that. So all these great apps in here. So I bet you Google Contacts is probably buried.
If we were to ever do a 201 or you really want to ask your market, there's actually one of my favorite API Nations, and I still might be free if it's here, but you can actually connect DocuSign with your Google Calendar to where it'll automatically populate closing dates, inspection dates on your Google Calendar. That's a pretty neat feature in API Nation. Not what we're focused on today, because we're talking contact records.
Yes.
API, it'll sync.
But you can see iCloud is here too. So there's iCloud, and I'm not seeing it pull up on this page, so I'm actually going to type in Google Contacts instead, because that's how I found it earlier.
Right.
And I know for sure it's on page 2 right now. All right. So here is your KW command in Google Contacts Sync. I'm going to hit View Details. And it should take you to this page. So if you've never synced it ever before, you should see where it says Buy Now here in the corner. We're going to click on Buy Now. And then this is where it will take me to the process of purchasing this. So it's a monthly fee of $10, $0 right now. So that is good for if you want to do it for free for the first month there. All right, so I'll hit purchase, and then I'm going to hit agree because I always forget to check that box and complete purchase.
Yeah, I know a lot of our market center tech trainers and agent services have begun to see this as a great onboarding or orientation for our agents process, right? We can import contacts from a Google spreadsheet, yes, but this is also a great benefit.
All right, so it should kick you to this page after some thinking there, and you're going to hit set up your sync. And this is going to take you to your apps page. where you're going to see all the other apps that you purchased here. So from there, you would click on this little icon that says KW Command in Google Contacts. So you do have a couple extra steps that you need to take. So once you get to your My Apps page, you're going to click on this, and it's going to take you to where you can sync your page there. Clark, and I believe you were going to take it from this point.
So. Yeah. All right. Yep. So purchasing subscription, that easy. We're going to go ahead and move on to setting up the sync here. And so let me bring over my page here, not my email. There we go. So the same place where Jody just was, okay, these are apps that I have purchased or integrated within the marketplace, and I'm going to focus here on the KW Command and Google Contacts. So just from following the steps that Jody just did, we're picking up right there. I'm going to click on KW Command and Google Contacts. You will be prompted at this point to, which is the API Nation intro page, kind of the initial setup page. So at this point, you need to decide, okay, you've got your command account. This page identifies which command account you're in, which Google Contacts, or what Google account are you going to utilize to begin syncing these contacts. All right. So whether it's the one on your phone or if it's a separate Google account, you just need to be aware of what that Google account is, or iCloud account. So I'm just going to use mine here at clarkkendall@kw.com. If I had another one, I could choose here, but I'm going to click on next. So here's where we want to be purposeful and think through initial setup. So as we're going through this, here's a challenge is I'm going to edge on the side of being very conservative and not doing everything I can in these initial setups to prevent duplicates. All right. Now, depending on your situation and what contacts are in there, you might want to be more prescriptive with your Market Center tech trainer and say, hey, I don't know if this is the right setup for me based on what I'm looking to do. Yet what we'll show you is the best way to ensure that there's not duplicates. But you might find yourself that there's some contacts not transferring over because of any prevention there. So just be aware that if something's not working, it might be set on these settings. Connect with your Market Center tech trainer. So from this onset, you'll see here it's got my KW Command account. Then the first option here is to sync all contacts on first run. Of course, that essentially says from the onset, whoever I have in command, do I want to bring them in my Google Contacts, right? Or do I want this sync to begin once I begin adding contacts into command, right? So you could choose this one. I'm going to hold off on that one, but I'm also going to do not override information in KW Command. So I'm going to choose this, and I recommend choosing this on the onset to prevent duplicates and have this sync run. So if you're finding that you're not getting the information that you want by choosing do not overwrite in KW Command and also Google Contacts, then maybe consider unchecking these. What you would want to think through is if you do uncheck these, which source is kind of the primary, the most accurate database source. All right. So if it is Google Contacts, you've got a lot of good solid data there that you want to protect, then keep this do not override information here. All right. Same with command, just choose which one you kind of want to keep in sync there. So make sure that box is checked for the one you want to protect. All right. So then from here, a key piece on the select contact folder. All right. In Google Contacts, you might find yourself that if you use labels in Google Contacts, it's very specific to Google Contacts. It's, I'm sure, a similar process in iCloud. But for Google Contacts, there's these things called labels. And in my account, I am purposeful with some labels here. All right. So what I'm going to walk through today, I've got 3 contacts, okay, in my Google Contacts that are celebrities. We got Denzel Washington, we got Dwayne Johnson, and we got Hugh Jackman. All right. Stellar male actors that we all look up to. So I'm going to choose on celebs. Those 3 celebrities are labeled as such in my Google Contacts. So this really should only sync those 3 contacts. You don't have to choose this folder, right? This is just, you could choose default and it would bring every contact in your contacts, but just for the sake of demo purposes and of course, you know, personal information that would sync over that I'd show you, that we're just going to choose these 3 celebrities with fake email accounts. All right. So we're here. I'm going to not override information in Google Contacts. And also key piece here is what would you like to sync? You can make this a one-way sync either from command into Google Contacts or Google Contacts into command, or have both running at the same time. So a dual sync or a single sync. So think through your situation. You might find yourself, you know what? I add more contacts through command than I actually do on my phone. So if I enter them in command, I don't really care if the contacts that are in my phone come back in the command like that. I just operate out of command. You can do that, all right? But just make sure you choose whatever makes sense there for you, all right? So what I'm going to do through here, just to give a demo here, sync Google Contacts. I'm going to leave both of these just to demo what that looks like. And there's also a disclaimer here that you're not using any other contact syncs. So if you're using PySync, or if you're using Zapier or Automate IO, any of those other pieces that might be a similar service, you want to make sure that you, if you're using that, keep that unchecked. But if most of us probably won't be using that, you want to go ahead and check I'm not using that. So we'll go to the next page here, and then what that accomplished. All right. I'll zoom in here. These top 2 lines here, I have a new sync beginning to be set up, Google Contacts to KW Command Contacts, and then KW Command Contacts to Google Contacts. So really, this is setting up, I have to set up each sync individually to make sure that I am owning and designing the sync the way that I want. Now, here's the good news, that once this is done, and once it's set in stone, you don't have to do it again. So it's a little bit of front end, thinking this through, designing the way you want it, and to get a great result on the other side. All right. So you'll notice here that also in my draft, or on the status column here, that is under draft because nothing's running just yet. So what I want to focus on here is go to Google Contacts to Command Contacts. I'm going to hit set up. And then it did already automatically select my labels here. And Jody, just to make sure, is there any sticking points or questions that you received from agents at this point? Common questions that might be helpful before we move forward?
Maybe not so much from agents, but my question is, does it also bring in that label for your command contacts? Do you know?
That's a great question. I don't know. So once we get to this, once we're actually, this page will answer that for us down below here. Yeah, good. Yeah, timely question. So, while we're here in Google Contacts, we've got this one here. We do still have the option to sync all contacts on the first run. I'm going to go ahead and choose that because I do have those contacts in Google Contacts, those 3 celebrities I want to bring over. And I also have this chosen, do not override information in KW command field. So you're noticing here that for this sync, even though we had 4 check boxes for syncing contacts on first run or do not override information, 2 of those check boxes are only for this sync that go from Google Contacts to command. It's kind of that protection, right? So this initial setup page transfers into this sync to really get the design going. You have other filters here if you chose to do so. My first filter was my label of celebrities. I do have a lot of other filters that I could put in here, all right? So if you wanted to filter out celebrities that only had the first name Denzel, then it would only bring Denzel in. Probably not what we're looking to do, but you can get really specific on those filters. Here's where we begin to understand how we want to bring this information, this data from Google Contacts into command. So there is this magical map automatically button. So if you click this button, it is going to kind of reset what the default is, what API Nation recommends bringing or matching Google Contact fields over into command. So you'll notice here, if there's a first name in Google Contacts, that's going to go to first name command. Same for middle name, last name, title, name prefix. What is helpful here that API Nations provide leverage for us that knows what the fields are labeled in each one and matches them up for you. So be cognizant of what is kind of mapped up here. And the good news is that most of this is straightforward. All this stuff lines up, primary phone, mobile phone. But a key piece here, you might find that if you have a lot of Google Contacts that that their phone is not in the mobile phone field within Google Contacts, and you might need to change that. Okay, so just be aware of that. There are other options here below as well. You can have, again, what it really does is reads all those fields, additional fields in Google Contacts and also in command, and kind of matches them up. So to answer your question, Jody, hey, I've got this label celebs. I don't see here the label in Google Contacts. Right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So one thing that you can actually do, and we'll test this out, all right, because we're going to learn here together. What you could do here for this one sync, because I know I've got celebs here, if I enter the field name here, we'll just call it label, celebs. If I enter the field value, I am forcing this, whatever I type in this field value, I can make this automatically be a tag, I believe. All right. Don't hold me to that. All right. We're labbing this out a bit, beta this a little bit, but I'm going to put in here celebs. But just know that because Google Contacts creates that celeb almost as a filter, it doesn't appear to make it, API Nation does not acknowledge that as a field that can be transferred. So we have to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to add that label field here, celebs. And then this is if you're wanting to rematch things up, these are kind of click and drag. So I'm going to scroll up, or maybe scroll up a bit. And I see this tag piece here. I'm going to match them up, hopefully. Oh, that's right. All right. It was click and drag, but now you get to choose which one. It made it easier. Okay. So once I've clicked on the one that I want, here I click on the one I want to match it up with.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of handy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, actually, that's a recent change. I used to have to scroll all the way up. They made that that's really cool. So we got this label celebs. It should bring over the celebs tag in theory. So we'll test it out.
Okay.
Right? So now, once we have this all set up, we're feeling good about it. The only thing left to do is hit this activate sync button. All right. Now, this is going to begin to work. What is also awesome about API Nation, you kind of get a log, a record of what happens. And this is under here. So you'll see here that at this date, this time, the workflow started. If I hit refresh, you'll see that I might have to lead into that. So how it went, right? So this is also handy as, okay, is this actually working? What I'm seeing here now, Google Contacts command, the workflow execution is complete, no new data found. So go through these logs. It might take a couple of runs and continue to refresh because they are working. What it's essentially doing is reading all my Google Contacts right now. Okay. All my Google Contacts, which it's probably about 2,000. And it's reading through all those Google Contacts 100 at a time and identifying, okay, who has a celeb tag or celeb label in Google Contacts. So this will take some time to run. All right. I don't know if we necessarily have time to allow API Nation to walk all the way through this. Yet what I am seeing here that 100 contacts received, 100 contacts filtered, that is allowing me to see that it's working, that API Nation's looking in the Google Contacts have filtered out 100 that did not apply. And so no new data found no new data from those first 100 had that label celebrity, and it'll continue to roll through this. So if I hit refresh again, it'll run about every few seconds here, maybe about every 15 to 30 seconds. It should be running a new workflow, but you'll get an update there for that. But once the sync is running, again, you want to give it some time. I would say, depending on the size of your Google Contacts or anything else, I would give it an hour. Okay. Once that occurs, then you should, somewhere in this log, if you want to get very detailed and seeing how that worked, that's great. But at the end of the day, what we want to do is be able to go into command or into my Google Contacts and see if that stuff's actually come over there. Okay.
Cool.
Jody, any questions on this piece?
Nope.
Okay.
You covered it.
All right. Awesome. So that's essentially setting it up. Now, what we did not go through was the other side of this. As I have this sync running, to go back to, because right now I have Google Contacts to KW command. This is active. It's running. I have yet to set up the command contacts to Google Contacts. Same process, right? If I want to bring my command contacts into Google, I would choose what's already been chosen for me, but also be aware of this, that because I chose celebs initially, if I wanted all my command contacts to go into Google, then I might actually just allow them to update contacts as a whole. So just be aware that I was purposeful in choosing celebs when that celebs label from going from Google Contacts to command, because I only wanted those to filter out. You might find yourself that you want to bring those in, all those Google command contacts to update possibly any of your contacts in there. So there's a lot of logic to this. It's all logic based, right? So if you're finding gaps in here, again, get with your Market Center tech trainer. Let's diagnose maybe where the piece is missing. And again, if you're ever not leery yet, want to be cautious in this as we're working with data. Continue to have these do not overwrite information in Google contact fields checked by precaution there.
I have a question.
Yes.
You have a question. So when you're selecting the folder for like celebs, do you know if you can select multiple folders? Like you don't want to sync all your contacts, but could I select celebs and MCTTs or TLs or something like that?
I don't believe so. I'm not attempted that.
So it might
However,
be a good idea to go into your Google contacts and label them with an additional label if you wanted to have multiple.
yeah. Or if I'm thinking through here, if we were to, I wonder if we could add an additional one. That I don't know. So we're going to do
curveballs.
what?
I said I like to throw curveballs.
Oh, absolutely. So let's try this again. Whoops. Let me back up here. All right. So we got Google Contacts and the command. Setup wizard is essentially what we did. I'm wondering if it allows us to do this again. We're playing around here, right? So if you got what you need, feel free to get into action and work with your MCTT. We're going to try to diagnose that piece here. Google Contacts command. It is already activated. Let's see what happens. And let's try to do a different one. Let's say our GHOPs. Now that is fascinating. I think we answered the question there, that if you begin not through that setup wizard, so if you begin here in this setup, it's allowing me to choose multiple ones.
There you
go.
We
we always learn something new together. Awesome. Too cool. Any other questions?
Nope.
All right. Cool. Well, folks, we hope this is helpful again, and would love to be able to know how this has saved you time, and of course, by giving you more time to hopefully live your life by design or make more money for your business. Share it back with your Market Center Tech Trainer, and let us know. We'd love to be able to highlight you on one of our little live streams. Maybe take a couple minutes to see how it's helped you. So
absolutely.
Yeah, Jody, as always, it's a pleasure. We'll catch you all in the next one.
All right. Bye.